Hey everyone, happy Friday. This is the internet's favorite criminal defense lawyer, Matt Lopez, owner of Matthew Lopez Law. For those of you who don't know me and are new to my channel, I own the largest criminal defense law firm in Arizona. Not even close. There's not any other firm that only handles criminal defense that's our size. There's 11 lawyers. And so we handle all types of cases. Again, if you're new to my channel, I like to shoot videos, topical videos about celebrities and athletes. And I get a lot of people from the media reaching out to me on a regular basis asking for my opinions or my comments on whatever it may be. So I like to keep it topical as opposed to posting something boring about, here are the 5 things you do if you get stopped for a DUI, or here's your constitutional rights or whatever. There's a million of that stuff online, and that's just not me, so that's not what I post. But I was reading the news today, and I didn't see the story when it first happened. Back in August, there was a Sean Dunn out of the DC area, and I guess he was outside of a nightclub, probably drinking. Most of our clients, whether even if it's not a DUI, are usually drinking or on drugs. Sean, maybe you weren't, maybe you were. I have no idea. So maybe it's not even fair for me to say that you were drinking. Who knows? But anyways, he saw some federal agents outside of a club, and from what I read, he thought maybe they were going to raid a gay club. I don't know if that's true or if it's not true. But apparently, this guy hates Trump and was yelling at the federal agents and going on and on and on. And eventually came back and threw a sub sandwich at one of the agents. And so he was arrested. I assume he was arrested. And the prosecutors tried indicting him on a felony charge. I would assume a felony charge for aggravated assault. I don't know. Well, I guess it's federal. So federal laws are all the same throughout the states. State laws are different from state to state, but federal law is federal law. So I know that if it's an aggravated assault, so if you push an officer, you touch an officer, the fact that they're an officer and it's an assault, it's aggravated assault. So maybe the prosecutor is trying to indict him on federal assault. The grand jury came back with no. The grand jury said we don't find that there's probable cause to move forward with the felony, and so they kicked it out. And which is strange, and ironically, there's a saying that says the grand jury will indict somebody for anything, including a ham sandwich. That's a saying, the ham sandwich, and they didn't indict him for this, so they denied it. Prosecutors refile in misdemeanor court for a felony misdemeanor, excuse me, a federal misdemeanor, and it goes to trial. And this guy his lawyer did a great job. They get him a not guilty after 7 hours of jury deliberation. But what cracks me up is the federal officers testify, and the officer said that he could feel the sub sandwich when it hit him. Sean Dunn threw it hard enough where the federal officer could feel it through his ballistic vest, and was offended because the sub sandwich exploded and there was mustard everywhere that he could smell and remnants of an onion. 100% BS. There's no way. This guy could feel a sub sandwich. He was actually threatened by a sub sandwich. I'm not saying you should throw sub sandwiches at officers. I've got a great deal of respect for officers. But come on, I see this all day, every day. I've got to go to court later this afternoon for a very complicated felony case. And officers, even though I have a great deal of respect for them, they exaggerate, and they know that if they show up in front of a jury and they've got their uniform on and they can say whatever, then on average the jury's going to believe them. So officer or agent, I don't know your name, but come on, you and I both know that you did not feel this through your vest. And you're exaggerating things in order to get a conviction. Well, it didn't work in this case. Again, Dunn's lawyers did a tremendous job. They got a not guilty, and this thing goes away. But it's a very bizarre story. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they got a not guilty. Dunn's lawyer called it a harmless gesture, and it may be, but it still fits the description of an assault. You can't just go around throwing sub sandwiches at people. So I don't know how it came back as not guilty, but good for Dunn and good for his lawyers. But that's what I have for today. Hope everyone has a great Friday. I'm curious what you think about it. I'm not taking a stance one way or another. But I'm just reporting the facts that I read. So, whether you're for Donald Trump or against Donald Trump, or you're for this Dunn guy or you're against the Dunn guy, I would love to see your comments and see what you have to say and read through it. And I'll chime in as to what I think. But this is kind of it's a crappy situation all around. But I'm just it's a funny story, and I'm curious to find out what your thoughts are on it. So leave us a message, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that, and I'll be posting something probably this weekend. And I hope everyone has a fun and safe Friday night. Thanks for watching.